We're going to now say topic sentence, check. We've got it. Now we need details, details, details. That's information all about the topic sentence. So let's look at what we're going to do for our details. You have your details questions here. The first thing we need to do for our details is draw a detail box, a line across where we'll put that detail. The next thing that we need to do is we need to figure out what kind of details are these. We have to choose, and there's two ways that you go at this level. You're either going to categorize the details or sequence them. So what I'm saying to the kids is this, boys and girls, let's look at our details. So switch to your next page to look at the brainstorm. Boys and girls, let's look at our details. We have the wind causes weathering. We have water from waves to rain causes weathering. The roots of a plant could cause weathering. The freezing of water, becoming ice and rocks cause weathering. Now that we looked at these pieces of information, these details that we brainstormed, do they have to be in order for us to tell about this information, or it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. We can take these details and put them in any order. So that means we can put them in categories. Everyone say, that's categories. That's categories. We can choose them in any order. What are categories? We can choose them in any order. So when we plan our categories, they can go in any order. We know that's categories, and that's important. Why? Because it makes us ask the category question. When we ask the category question, then that's going to help us stay on topic and write the idea down on our planner the correct way. It's the categories detail right here. And what is the categories detail going to do? You'll see categorized details. So this is, once you have your topic sentence, this is when the details don't have to be in a specific order, and this is your card that you would have to categorize the details. Tell about one kind, and then what was our big idea? Weathering. Tell about one kind of weathering. Tell about another kind of weathering. This is our categories card for writing details, the question they need to ask the big idea in order to stay on topic and write the correct information. And the categories box question is visualized here for you. All right, we are going to tell one kind of weathering, another kind of weathering. That's what we're going to ask each detail. What do we do if we want to expand? We want to ask how that kind of weathering makes the rock disintegrate. Now, that's when we're writing the detail, but today in stage 4, we also want to see if we can expand on these sentences. So if we want to expand a detail, maybe we were writing about one kind of weathering, so what are we going to be writing about? One kind of weathering. And then if I want to expand, I'm going to either tell more about that kind of weathering, explain why, or tell how. We decided how was what we wanted to do to expand that sentence. So we went and we wrote the word, how does it, and we wrote how, and then we want to show the rock disintegrating, because we referred back up to the big idea. How does this kind of weathering disintegrate a rock? So we had all that information there when we were trying to expand the detail. This is what we're asking every time we write a new detail. So you walk through those steps. Remember, this is all about thinking. What does your brain need to do in order to write about a topic of information, stay on topic, and write about that big idea? That's what we're doing here. So I have these keywords here now on the board, and every time we write a detail, we're going to refer to these keywords. All right, boys and girls, let's read our big idea again. Over time, on the planet Earth, different kinds of weathering makes all rocks disintegrate. Let's go ahead and let's start writing our details. What do we always do? Let's repeat what we've already planned. Over time, on the planet Earth, different kinds of weathering cause all types of rocks to disintegrate. Now that we know our big idea, what do we need, everybody? We need details, details, details that tell all about that big idea. That's information about that big idea. So now we need to use that word kind. And the first way we say it is, what's one kind of weathering? So now we're going to go to this first box, draw some wind. I could write a keyword or draw a picture. It really doesn't matter. This should be fast and quick. Too many words though, become confusing to kids and it delays and slows the lesson. That's why using non-linguistic representation, simple icons, are usually suggested when you're filling in a planner. Keywords are there only if you've really brainstormed and you need them. They're critical. Sometimes some kids, when it comes to drawing, it just interferes, so I just let them write keywords. You really just do what's going to work best for your kids. Keywords, drawings, or a mixture. We have wind. All right, so we have that first part of our sentence. How does the wind, what does it do? Oh, so the wind is going to pound on the rock. So now let's show that rock. How does that wind cause the rock to disintegrate? So we have the wind is blowing on the rock. How does it do it? It's blowing little grains of sand off of the rock. So we have that's how it does it. It's pounding on the rock, and then how does it make the rock break down, disintegrate? By blowing little grains of sand off of the rock. Let's go back and let's say it. Start from the beginning. Over time, on the planet Earth, different kinds of weathering make all types of rocks disintegrate. Now we go to this line, and kids just look at you. So now you want to ask them, because you don't want to give them the sentence. So you're going to say, what kind of weathering was here? Go back to your question. Oh, wind. The wind pounds on rocks and makes grains of sand fly away. Wow, that sounds good. We have our sentence. We went back and we want to say, all right, you know what? Maybe we want to add a transition, or we could just say the wind. I think we just say the wind. So we have the wind. Sometimes we can add a transition. Sometimes we just put the first word of the subject, which we're referring to the wind, and then we put that on our organizer. Now let's go back and reread this sentence again. The wind blows on rocks and makes tiny grains of sand blow away. Wow, that's how it changes the rock. So we have the wind blows on the rock, making tiny grains of sand blow away. Wow, I said blow many times, didn't I? So let's say instead of blows, why don't we say pounds? Okay, let's do it again. The wind pounds on the rocks, making tiny grains of sand blow away. Wow, that sounds good. Notice I'm saying it over and over and over with the kids until we think it sounds pretty good. All right, we have our sentence there. Are we finished with all of our different details that tell about the different kinds of weathering? No. We're repeating our detail sentences over and over until we're done. So what do? We're going to go back, get organized by making a line for our next detail. Then we're going to ask our detail question, which we know is going to be, what's another kind of weathering? So what was another kind of weathering? We look at the brainstorm chart that we made, and we are going to choose this time maybe how plants, how when their roots go into the rocks, they cause weathering. So we choose that one. We just talk about it. We're not making the sentence yet. We're drawing the idea. Remember, draw the idea so that you have it down. Then go back and try to figure out how you're going to say the sentence. If you try to do both at the same time, kids freeze up. So what are we going to do? We're going to draw, let's make some little cracks here with roots in it. And here's our plant. We have the plants, roots going into those cracks, and it makes the cracks split apart. We have the plant's roots going into the rocks. We now need to figure out how to say the sentence. What do? Go back and reread what we have so far so that we can plan this sentence. Ready? Over time, on the planet Earth, different kinds of weathering make all types of rocks change or disintegrate. The wind pounds on rocks, blowing away tiny grains of sand. Who or what are we talking about here? The roots of a plant. All right, so a plant's roots, let's go ahead and write the word a there to start our sentence. A plant's roots, what do the plant's roots do? Do they grow inside of a rock, or do we want to say invade the cracks of a rock? Which one do we want to do? It doesn't matter, they're both correct. Invade kind of sounds better though, doesn't it? Let's use that. What are we talking about that causes the weathering? The plant's roots. So a plant's roots, what does it do that causes weathering? It grows inside the cracks of rocks, or it invades the cracks of rocks with its roots. How does that make the rock disintegrate? So that's our second part of our sentence, the how. All right, so we have the roots breaking up the rocks, splitting open those cracks, invading them, and because it makes them split open. So let's put split. So it causes the rocks to disintegrate by making those cracks that the roots go into split open. We're going to go back and read the whole thing. Ready? Over time on the planet Earth, different kinds of weathering make all types of rocks disintegrate. The wind pounds on rocks, making grains of sand blow away. A plant's roots grow in the cracks of a rock, making it split open. Let's add our next detail. Remember, what's another kind? What's another kind of weathering that makes a plant disintegrate? So we look at our brainstorm chart, and this time we decided, let's put a rock there. Let's put some rain coming down on a rock, maybe some waves of an ocean. And now we're going to talk about water. So we have our rain coming down, and we have our pounding waves hitting rocks that could cause it to disintegrate. We'll go back and we'll read it. Ready? Over time on the planet Earth, different kinds of weathering make all types of rocks disintegrate. The pounding wind makes tiny grains of sand fly away from a rock. A plant's roots grows in a rock's cracks, making it split open. Rain and waves, what do? Do they sit on a rock or do they crash or pound on a rock? Oh, we already had pounded, so what could we say? Crash on a rock. They hit a rock. Ooh, let's do hit. Ready? The rain and waves hit rocks. How does that make a rock disintegrate? It makes it wear away. So let's put a word wear here so that we can remember that. Now we have our how in this statement. Shall we go back and see if we can start this sentence? I could say the. Well, you know what? This is another kind of rain. Let's look at our transition wall. We're writing in categories. So let's figure out if one of our transitions on our category box would help. A category could tell you how many. Are we talking about how many when we talk about rain and waves? No. Are we talking about which one? Could we say like also, like another type of weathering is rain and water, or also, meaning another type of weathering? Let's use the word also. So we have also for our transition. Also, rain and waves, they hit rocks, making them wear away. So I keep saying making them wear away, so I don't want to keep saying making. I'll go back. Also, rain and waves wear away rocks. So there we go. Hit rocks and they wear away. So they wear away. Also, rain and waves hit rocks. I don't want to keep saying making. Look at my box over here. What if I use the word so? Let's put so there. So they wear away. Ooh, that sounds good. Let's go back and read our whole paper. Ready? Over time on the planet Earth, different kinds of weathering make all types of rock disintegrate. The pounding wind makes tiny grains of sand fly away. A plant's roots splits open the cracks of a rock. Also, rain and waves hit rocks, so they wear away. Boy, we're sounding pretty good here. Are we done with all of our details? No, we had one more on our chart. So let's draw our line and let's look at what we had. And that was about